songs was that you loved us. Anyway, we running from you, we saying no, and you saying yes. Y'all, we just thank you for how good you are, how merciful you've been, how you have such a great plans, that your plan is unfolding right in front of our face. Help us not to mess it up. May all the things that you have set in ordinance and the program and the format, may it be, Almighty God, for your will, not our will. Yah, we just thank you and praise you. Pray, Almighty Yah, that you will pull back the layers of our mind and our heart. That you will allow you to circumcise our hearts, yes, our minds, that we can be more like you and understand you. We thank you. You are the unique one.
Hallelujah.
You care for your people. You love us. You just want to be loved back. Y'all, we just ask for forgiveness of our kata, of our sins, how much we've trespassed. We thank you for allowing us to be on a journey to Shavuot, to be a part of the wheat harvest, to gather in all your wheat. We thank you, Yah. May we be a people that's fruit-bearing in a dying world. We see you, Almighty Yah. You're spinning this globe so fast, time just going by right in front of our face. You done sped time up right in front of our face. So we're going to need more of your Ruach to sustain the days ahead. We are clay and you are the potter. Form us, reshape us, and mold us to hold more of your water.
Hallelujah.
We need to be in the fire a little bit longer, to be a little bit more durable. Have your way, Father. Committing ourselves into your hand, that you may do what you must do. Give us the strength not to worry about tomorrow. Give us the strength to endure today. The sparrows, they don't worry about it. But you feed them.
Hallelujah.
The lilies, they don't worry about it. You cover them. Here we are, walking by your word, full of your spirit, needing your spirit. And how much will you do for us? So y'all, we just thank you. Give you all the praise and the glory. Be with us this day. Be with those, the brothers and sisters who could not be here for a variety of reasons. Almighty Yah, be with our extended families. Be with those who are dealing with sicknesses and ailments. Father, deal with those who might be perfectly healthy, but they're still sick. Deal with them. May the words we speak be a medicine to their soul. May it be a thorn in their side. Either way, have your way, brother. Yah, we thank you and we praise you. Just ask that you pour out your presence. You continue to pour out your presence during this word, message, teaching, preaching, exhorting. We also want to pray that follows. We may get ourselves prepared for a mountain of hope. You are the only way. Ain't no other way.
Hallelujah.
Just how you planned. Ain't no other way. So Yah, we thank you, we praise you. Have your way with your servant. Have your way with your son today, Almighty Yah. May the work that's done be pleasing in thy sight.
Hallelujah.
May Yahshua HaMashiach himself be pleased, not just with the words that come out of my mouth, but the people who have circumcised their ears to hear the word. It ain't my word, but it's your word. It's for that every individual here may grow closer to you in their own walk, in their own relationship.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. In Yahshua HaMashiach, name we pray. Amen. Amen. Hallelujah. All right. As we always say, Shabbat Shalom to everybody that's here. Shabbat Shalom to anybody on the other side. Talking about that. I'm talking about the side of the screen. Right? Talking about that. Shabbat Shalom to you. Greetings and salutations to the 12 tribes of Israel that are scattered abroad. This word is for you. To all those that have joined themselves to our Father in heaven by Yahshua HaMashiach, some might say Jesus the Christ. This word is for you. To all those who are in whatever position in life you in, this word is for you. You want truth, this word is for you. You want to understand, get a little bit closer to God, this word is for you. You want to really understand your Bible, this word is for you. In the jail cell right now, you're stuck. Can't get out. Can't nobody get no bail money. This word is for you. For our young men that's out there thugging and banging, this word is for you. For our young women that at a young age already got their legs open, this word is for you. This is a word for everybody. Those that say, look, I'm in the dumpster. Say, look, preacher man, don't tell me about no hell. I'm living hell. This word show for you. This word is life. Folks about to find out. Take them in the other way. This word is for you. So if I didn't cover you, this word is for you. I don't leave nobody out. Because Most High don't leave. He loved his 100. He loved his 99. He really excited about that one now. He's got willing to go get him. That's what the book say, prophesy about fishers and hunters. Ain't no wrong being a fisher and a hunter now. Somebody had to fish and hunt you out.
Yeah, thank you.
Somebody had to fish and hunt you out. Oh, let me guess, you was primed until you done jumped, you flew in. First round pick. Be excited about that one and get lost. Sometimes, tell you what, you get stuck in that world, man. Sometimes you don't even pray no more. Because you don't think Most High listen. He listens. He's got to be sincere about your call. Anyway, this word is for you. Look, we're going to jump right into it. We're on our 6th Shabbat. Our countdown on day 42. For those of us that might be watching that, you might be a Christian. You might understand when we say Omer or Shabbat. We count 7 Sabbaths. And then the day after, which would be a Sunday, be the 50th day, since we celebrated Passover and unleavened bread, and we celebrated first fruits, barley harvest. And we talked about that being barley, about Yahshua HaMashiach is described, Jesus the Christ is described in the New Testament as having the winnowing fan in his hand. So that when he comes to his wheat, he just tossed up and the shaft fall off because of the wind. His wheat harvest is a little bit different. You got big stew out of wheat now. You got big stew out of it. That stuff, that shaft is a whole lot harder. So we're celebrating that. We're going to celebrate that. We're going to celebrate Pentecost with some different sects of Sunday worship. Pentecost and the giving of the Ruach HaKodesh with the Holy Spirit. We're going to celebrate that. So that will be something that if you believe in Christ, that you should look in your, you should be doing that. If you're not doing that, ask your pastor why. Sat there and told you it's Pentecostal. Listen, I ain't seen no else in the book. So it's Feast of Wheats, the wheat harvest. We should all want to have a desire to be wheat. We got to know our Lord. These last couple of weeks, we've been talking about the first fruits. Now he wants you to be a first fruit. He went through all that to become a first fruit from the dead. He wants you to be a kind of creature like him. I know it's one thing to talk about the Ruach and talk about the Spirit and say, I walk in the Spirit and float on clouds and be nice and sweet. Yes, but what does the book say? And what are the writers trying to get you to understand? So we've been looking at the finality. What Yah sees is making us like him. You go to Egypt, you go to down there in South America, you go to different parts of Africa, you go to I guess Syria, historical monuments. They got people with half animal bodies and half human heads and a human face and a lion body. Worshiping. What will they worship? Yah said, I'm going to remove all that out the way. He said, when my son set his kingdom up, you're going to be like him. You're going to rule and reign with him on this earth. You think them people, I don't care how far back, you think they were just drawn up animals? What they see, what they know, what they tap into. So we're going to pick up where we left off. But anyway, people that don't know what's going on, we on our count, Shavuot. Please join us. 2 Peter, first chapter. We should be seeing the depthness of how Yah is trying to recreate us and how far he's willing to go. You ever been in a relationship with somebody and you feel like you're doing all the work? Is that not the worst relationship when you with somebody and you feel like you're doing all the work? That's the worst relationship to be. I got to do all the work. Man, look here. So as we comb these last couple of weeks, we have to look at the work that he is doing and he wants to do in you. 2 Peter, first chapter, verse 13, really 12. Wherefore I will not be negligent to put you always in remembrance of these things, though ye know them, and be established in the present truth. I'm in the truth. Folks been in the truth. Truth always been there. We late to the party. Verse 13. Yea, I think it meet as long as I'm in this tabernacle to stir you up by putting you in remembrance, knowing that shortly I must put off this my tabernacle, even as our master, Yahshua HaMashiach, has showed me. Moreover, I will endeavor that you may be able after my decease to have these things always in remembrance. He's like, I got to preach it. I got to make sure you get this up to my grave. What is he talking about? About his body, his tabernacle falling, and another tabernacle, another body rising. He says, to my last breath, I got to make sure you get this. For we have not followed cunning, devised fables. You know, like when you go to Egypt, and there's a lion body and a human head. Or some of the Greek mythologies, what you call it? Half man, half horse. What you call it? Centaur. Cyclops, big bell body, one head in the middle. So we ain't talking about fables. We ain't talking about wickedness. We talking about the glory. And him sharing his glory with you. Us. We have not followed cunning, devised fables when we made known unto you the power of our master, Yahshua HaMashiach, but were eyewitnesses of his majesty. For he received from God the Father honor and glory when he came, for there came such a voice to him from the excellent glory, this is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased. And this voice which came from heaven we heard when we were with him in the holy mount, Peter said, I am an eyewitness. News breaking. Yes, me, Cephas. Eyewitness. Then he says, we have also a more sure word of prophecy, whereunto you do well that ye take heed. He said, look, it's important that you get this. As unto a light that shines in a dark place, until the day dawn and the day star rises in your hearts. We've been talking about this for the last couple of weeks. Read it 1. Somebody give me Isaiah 14 and 12. Read it 2. Lord, let me get Revelation 22:16. Knowing until the day dawn and the day star arise in your hearts. So it's something that God is going to do with you from within. That is almost unheard of. It is unheard of. It's amazing. So we got one reader in Isaiah 14 and 12. The second reader is in Revelation 22 and 16. Go ahead, son.
Isaiah 14 and 12.
How
art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, who didst weaken the nations?
So we see that them are referred to as sun, morning stars, and Cephas, who is an eyewitness to something, is saying, hey, the day star will arise in your heart if you believe. If you don't believe, right, you're not obedient, it don't even matter. Go ahead. Revelation 22:16.
I assure have sent my angel to testify to you these things in the churches. I am the root and offspring of David, and the bright and morning star.
So they just ain't throwing this terminology out loosey-goosey. See, now we understand why they make a statement, hey man, work out your salvation with fear and trembling. They're like, look, you're gonna die, yo. New York style. You're gonna die, son. You're gonna die, son. But after, if we could get like a jump in there, what's that movie? Back to the Future. They had that jump in that. What's what? DeLorean. Jump in that car. We jump forward to see what you look like. You be, who give me back? You be looking to go to sleep. Aaron, him in the head hard as you can. Come on, Aaron, him hard as you can. Because you would be itching to get this reward that Christ is bringing. But then you know it's Isaiah 14 and 12, Revelation 22 and 16. Verse 20, knowing this first, that no prophecy of the scripture is of any private interpretation, for the prophecy came not in old time, but by the will of man, but holy men of Elohim spake as they were moved by the Ruach HaKodesh. That was 2 Peter, 1st chapter, 12 through 21. Now let's turn to Matthew 17. We left off. So he said he's in the Holy Mount, and we realized that he was talking about what we know in our New Testament as Mount of Transfiguration. Now, the real question is, this Mount of Transfiguration, one, the book says the pretty is really high. It's a big mountain. They went to a high mountain. Now, the previous chapter, 16, they went to an area called Caesarea Philippi. And Yahshua makes a statement about verse 18, 16, and 18. But I say unto thee that thou art Cephas, and upon this rock I will build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. Okay, it's Matthew 16 and 18. So there somewhere, they went somewhere And he's looking at a specific spot during a place called Caesarea Philippi. Now, what's interesting is that history tells us that this area, there was a strong worship of Aeneas. You know, Peter Pan in the Lost Boys. You buy your peanut butter, you got Peter Pan on there, little green stuff. But Pan worship has been associated with goat. So the half man, half goat. So when we in 2020 show pictures of the Baphomet or whatever, ain't nothing like the same. Same goat worship. And Christ makes a statement saying that the gates or the doors of the underworld will not prevail. And he's saying that where there's a lot of pan worship, goat worship, demonic worship. So when you see your favorite superstar, or your favorite all-star, or your favorite Hollywood star, and they do their little thing when they're worshiping the goat. Just think Matthew 16 and 18. You know, it's one thing, the book here, y'all want to try to make you a star. You know what your world gonna do to you? Be all right. Yeah, no, every nation got American Idol, Japanese Idol, China Idol, UK Idol. Be a superstar, be a star, be a star. But the book, he's trying to make you a star. Because he ain't never forgot the promise now. Remember Abraham? Your seed will be like the seed on the ground, the sand, and also the stars of heaven. So now we're in Matthew 17. And after 6 days and one, Yahshua taketh Peter, James, and John, his brother, and bringeth them up into a high mountain apart. And he was transfigured before them, and his face did shine as the sun, and his raiment was white as light. So whatever Yahshua looked like as a normal, regular person, he transformed from, as Shaul would say, from one glory to another glory. They saw it. That's what Peter's talking about. So Peter's saying, hey, man, I got to remind y'all this the day I die. That this thing falling off, but what's coming up? Woo! Knock your socks off. And was transfigured before them, and his face did shine as the sun, and his raiment was white as the light. And behold, there appeared to them Moshe and Elijah talking with him. How do you know? Must have some artwork. That means somebody took all the pictures. You know how like some folks, different people groups in time, you know, the Babylonians, the Syrians, and Egyptians, they dropped up on their wall. I guess there's like they weren't drawing them. Huh? He said, quick, Moshe. Just something. And then answered Cephas and said unto Yahshua, Master, is it good for us to be here? If thou wilt, let us make here 3 tabernacles, one for thee, one for Moshe, one for Elijah. While he yet spake, behold, a bright cloud overshadowed them, and behold, a voice out of the cloud, which this is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased. Hear ye him. When the disciples heard it, they fell on their face and were sore afraid. And Yahshua came and touched them and said, Arise, and be not afraid. When they had lifted up their eyes, they saw no man save Yahshua only. And as they came down from the mountain, Yahshua charged them, saying, Tell the vision to no man, until the Son of Man be risen again from the dead. So this is why we have Peter, or Cephas, doing what he was charged to do. Okay? So, you on? So, in Genesis 6, 1 through 7, it came to pass that when men began to multiply on the face of the earth and daughters were born unto them, that the sons of God saw that the daughters of men, and that they were fair, and they took them wives, of which all they had chose. And the master said, My spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he also is flesh, yet his days shall be 120 years. There were giants in the earth in those days. Also after that, when the sons of God came to the daughters of men, and they bare children unto them, the same became mighty men which were of old, men of renown. God saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. It repented the Lord that he had made man on the earth. So whatever was going on in Genesis 6 was so bad that in Genesis 1, everything Yah did, he said it was what? Good. So whatever was going on was so bad. So I mentioned, shouldn't even make these jokes. And it grieved him at his heart. Yah said, I will destroy man whom I have created from the face of the earth, both man and beast, and the creeping thing, and the fowls of the air, for it repenteth me that I have made them. For anybody visitors, we into the book of Enoch. Hey, don't turn it off. Don't shut us off. We try to hold our canon as we have been given it to us. One, I guess, by whoever, Catholics and whoever promotes the canon. One should be questioning who gave them authority. Number one. Every time I turn around and look at the Catholic, you got some man on there, and he had to be removed because he's too close to little boys. So that ain't the point for today. But one of the book of Enoch is not in the canon, even though writers of the New Testament knew of it, and they talked about it, and they included it in words in addressing the different churches or congregations throughout all of the areas where they were scattered. So we have to ask a question about the sons of God and the daughters of men. Religion has said, hey, it's just good guys getting around with some wild girls. That's what religion will tell you. Some good guys, sons of God, good guys, nice guys. Them girls, them old heifers. Them old scallywag girls. That's what that was. And that made y'all so mad, huh? That produced giants, huh? Okay. So if you have your Sefer, if you have extra access, and if you don't have it, write it down and go back and read it at your leisure. It's good for you. Enoch 7. No, if Enoch could have been with the Most High that long, I'm sure he got something to say. I'm just saying. Hallelujah to there, Enoch 7.
Hallelujah.
7, one of the reasons it happened after the sons of men had multiplied in those days, that daughters were born to them, elegant and beautiful. So people are reproducing, they're procreating. And when and let's be honest here, humans create beautiful humans, right? I mean, you know, so that's not far-fetched. Okay. And when the watchers, the sons of heaven beheld them, they became enamored of them, saying to each other, come, let us select for ourselves women from the progeny of men, and let us beget children. Time out. So entities from up there wanted to hook up with humans, particularly women, and generate offspring. You know, it sounds far-fetched until you start talking about being a child of God. Until you start talking about the Ruach HaKodesh being in you. You know, something I think everybody will probably agree with is that everything that Yah does or has that's good, the adversary, there's a flip side. There's like a dark side. It's demented, twisted, bad side. Yah wants the ruach to be in you to be a fruit bearer and all these, well, then if the other side do it, what kind of fruit will they produce? Genesis 6 says, but there were giants in the earth in those days. We don't know where they came from. Verse 3, then their leader, Shemaziah, said to them, I fear that you may perhaps be indisposed to the performance of this enterprise, and that I alone shall suffer for such a grievous crime. But they answered and said, we all swear and bind ourselves by our intention, but execute our projected undertaking. Then they swore all together, and they bound themselves by mutual execrations. The whole number was 200 that descended upon Ardis, which is the top of Mount Hermon. So, if this is true, then Matthew 17, someone, thousands of years later, went to the Mount of Hermon, or Mount Hermon, in a specific area, and they transfigured themselves. They went from one glory to another glory. Right there. These knuckleheads are trying to have a progeny of their own. 8. That mountain, therefore, was called Hermon because they had sworn upon it and bound themselves by mutual expressions. These are the names of their chief: Shemaziah, who was their leader, Erkabamel, Akabeel, Tamiel, Ruel, Daniel, Ezekiel, Sarnakyal, Asal, Armers, Bathral, Ane, Zavbe, Samaviel, Erturel, Turel, Yamiel, Azarel, Turel, I'm not right. Cool. These were the prefects of the 200 angels, and the remainder were all with them. Then they took women, each choosing for himself, whom they began to approach, and with whom they cohabitated, teaching them sorcery, incantations, and dividing roots of trees. And the women conceiving brought forth giants. In Genesis 6, it said there was so much wickedness in the earth. So these people from the other side were teaching them sorcery, incantation, magic, or science, as we look at it. And they bore them 3 races. First, the great giants. The giants brought forth the Nephilim, and the Nephilim brought forth the Elohim, and they existed, increasing in power according to their greatness, whose stature was 300 cubits. These devoured all the labor of men until it became impossible to feed them, when they turned themselves against men in order to devour them. Wickedness on earth. And they began to injure birds, beasts, reptiles, and fish, to eat one another's flesh and to drink their blood, and the earth reproved the unrighteousness. We go to 9th chapter, stay in Enoch. Then Michael and Gabriel and Raphael and Suriel and Uriel looked down from heaven and saw the quantity of blood which was shed on the earth, and all the iniquity which was shed on earth, and all the iniquity which was done upon it, said one to another, the voice of their cries, the earth deprived has cried into the gate of heaven, and now to you, O you, Holy One of heaven. The souls of men complain, saying, bring judgment to us from El Elyon. Is that in our New Testament anywhere about the souls crying out, asking for justice? That's not that far-fetched. Then they said to their Adonai, the king, Adonai of Adonim, Elohim of Elohim, King of kings, the throne of your glory forever and ever, forever. Is your name sanctified and glorified? You are blessed and glorified. You have made all things. You possess power over all things. And all things are open and manifest before you. You behold all things. Nothing can be concealed from you. You have seen what Azazel has done, how he has taught every species of iniquity upon earth, and has disclosed to the world all the secret things which are done in the heavens. All the secret things which are done in the heavens. All the secret things which are done in the heavens. I wonder How folks get the idea of coming up with a nuclear bomb. Who got that idea? Weapons of destruction. You know, some would say that the Germans during the World War I, with the U-boats and submarines, they were smashing everything. You couldn't do nothing. Hey, another water, boom, sink the ship. Send in more men, boom. Send in more troops, boom. You couldn't do nothing. Who gave them that idea? You know, it's funny. You'll see a cartoon or like a movie. You have all these people fighting, trying to get to the secret. All these Indiana Jones movies, trying to get to the secrets in the earth. So they put it right in front of your face that the principalities and powers, they exist, baby. They're alive and well. Because if Yahshua said that these gates, these doors, that the church will prevail against, that means there are gates and doors all over the earth. You know, some of the things in the book of Revelation, I don't know if it was the trumpets or the vials being poured out. One of them is Yah's going to let some folks out. He's going to give some folks early parole. See why it's important for the day star to dawn in your heart? I'm all right. I swear to you. So we're in the fight for our life. That's why pity pat cake church, pity pat cake Bible ain't gonna get you saved, man. We're in the fight our life. I have not been. I'll wait till we kind of get through this series and stuff, because we're getting ready for Shavuot and things. And we really got to get understanding that the Ruach of the Spirit. But you know, there at some point, all your major news channels, they're going to introduce aliens to you. They talk about it all the time now. So all they're just getting your mind ready for the other ones. They're getting you ready. So most people is sleeping dumb. I don't mean no offense. Just sleeping dumb. And you'll be thinking, Messiah, this is how we came to be. Hook, line, sinker. That's when your major CIA advocates, CNN and Fox, are telling you about UFOs. Yeah, they're out there. Yeah, they're out there. Yeah, they're out there. Why are they doing it that way? What do they know that you don't know? Well, what are they conditioning you for? Something too long. Well, leave off real quick. Yeah. Shemaziah also taught sorcery, to whom you have given authority over those who are associated with him. So Yah gives certain angels or watchers power and authorities. It kind of makes sense of Deuteronomy 32 about the nations being divided up and the sons of Elohim having each their own spot. But Israel, my portion. They have gone together to the daughters of men, have lain with them, have become polluted, and have revealed their sins to them. The women likewise have brought forth giants, thus the whole earth been filled with blood and iniquity. And now, behold, the souls of the dead cry out and complain even to the gates of heaven. They're groaning the sins, nor can they escape from the unrighteousness which is committed on the earth. You know all things before they exist. You know these things and what has been done by them, yet you do not speak to us. What on account of these things are we to do to them? Then El Elyon, the great and holy one, spoke and sent Arsalar, the son of Lamech, saying, say to him, in my name conceal yourself, then explain to him the consummation which is about to take place. For all the earth shall perish, the waters of deluge shall come over the whole earth, and all things which are in it shall be destroyed. And now teach him how he may escape, how his seed may remain in all the earth. So we never want to neglect physical earthly seed. Again, Yahweh said to Raphael, bind Azazel, hand and foot, cast him in darkness. Cast him where? In darkness. And opening the desert, which is in the Dudael, cast him in there. Go upon him, hurled and pointed stones, covering him with darkness. And there shall he remain forever, cover his face, that he may not see the light. In the great day of judgment, let him be cast to the fire. Restore the earth, which the angels have corrupted, and announce life to it, that I may revive it. All the sons of men shall not perish in consequence of every secret by which the watchers have destroyed, in which they have taught their offspring. All the earth has been corrupted by the effects of the teaching of Azazel. To him, therefore, ascribe the whole crime. To Gabriel also Yahuwah said, go to the bastards, to the reprobates, to the children of fornication, and destroy the children of fornication, the offspring of the watchers, from among men, bring them forth and excite them one against another. So you want to know where Goliath and David and the mighty men, and one of the mighty men killed the giant Egyptian? They're bastards. It's their offspring. Let them perish by mutual slaughter, for length of days shall not be there. They shall entreat you, but their fathers shall not obtain their wishes respecting them. For they shall hope for eternal life, and they that may live, each of them 500 years. So these offspring, they're like, hey, man, I hope these guys can live forever. And, it's a great idea. We combine the divine and the natural. Look at this. Yah said, I'll show you how to do it. But this ain't it. To Michael, likewise, Yahuwah said, go and announce his crime to Shemaziah and to the others who are with him, who have been associated with women, that they might be polluted with all their impurity. And when all their sons shall be slain, when they shall see the perdition of the beloved, bind them for 70 generations underneath the earth, even to the day of judgment and consummation, to the judgment of the effect of that which will last forever be complete. Then shall they be taken away to the lowest depths of the fire and torments and confinement, shall they be shut up forever. Immediately after this shall Shemaziah, together with them, burn and perish, shall they be bound unto the consummation of many generations. Destroy all the souls addicted to lust. What did we talk about last week that we realized in Peter about the divine nature that you are headed towards? That you must escape the world of what? Lust. Hope that makes sense. He wants you to have divine nature. But in order to get there, you got to escape that corruption, lust. Destroy all the souls addicted to lust. The offspring of the watchers, they have been tyrannized over mankind. Let every oppressor perish off the face of the earth. Let every evil work be destroyed. The plan of righteousness and the rectitude appear, and its produce shall be a blessing. Righteousness and rectitude shall be forever planted with delight. And then shall all the Kodoshim give thanks and live until they have begotten 1,000 children in the whole period of their youth, and the Shabbatot shall be completed in peace. And in those days the earth shall be cultivated in righteousness. It shall be wholly planted with trees and filled with benediction. Every tree of delight shall be planted in it. It shall be vines be planted, the vine which shall be planted in every fruit. Every field shall yield fruit, saith he. Every seed which shall be sown in it shall produce for 1 measure 1,000. 1 measure of the olive shall produce 10 presses of oil. Purify the earth from all oppression and all justice and all crime and all impiety, and from all the pollution which is committed upon it. Exterminate them from the earth. Then shall the children of men be righteous, and all nations shall pay me divine honors, and bless me, and shall adore me. The earth shall be cleansed from all corruption, from every crime, from all punishment, from all suffering. Neither will I send a deluge upon it from generation to generation. So that was just a small section there in Enoch or Enoch. So you want to know, you get the Chanukah, well, Enoch, dedicated, is a small section there that gives us a lot of insight to Genesis 6. Okay? A lot of insight to Genesis 6. Brother, give me Jude 17 verse. You give me Romans 15:4 right quick. Brother in the back, you go ahead. You give me John 6:44 through 45. Yirmiyahu, let me get Acts 24, 14 and 15. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. 15:3, then 4. When you run the sign and give me an envelope.
But beloved, remember ye the words which were spoken before of the apostles of our Adonai Yeshua HaMashiach, how that they told you there should be mockers in the last time, who should walk after their own ungodly lust.
Their own what?
Ungodly lust.
I wonder if this lust is going to be different than the lust that we just read in Enoch, or the lust that Peter was talking about. That if you don't escape it, there's no divine nature for you. The ultimate gift is you becoming like a divine, you being like them. That's the reward. At least one of them. I think 17 then. Read no, start at 6. No, I'll stop. He's in Jude, and he's going to start in verse 6. There's only one chapter.
And the angels which kept not their first estate.
The who?
The angels which kept not their first estate.
So they left from wherever they belonged. This was understood. Go ahead, son.
But left their own habitation. He hath reserved in everlasting chains under darkness unto the judgment of the great day.
Under what?
Under darkness unto the judgment of the great day.
Why didn't he just read that? How did he know that? Well, slap me in the face and call me Willie. How did he know that? He would have gotten that from somebody. I mean, to the teeth. So they got to be judged. They got to go to court, man. Some of these guys ain't getting parole. I don't care. What we got? You got Pelican Bay. You got what's that in New York? That prison in New York. What's it called? Big Rikers Island. And you got Alcatraz. You got locked up in San Juan. Look, ain't none of them prisons deep off in Germany. They ain't got none of what he talking about. What he just said. Where he set them jokers at. Go ahead.
Even as Sodom and Gomorrah, and the cities about them in like manner, giving themselves over to fornication.
Doing what?
Giving themselves over to fornication. And going after strange flesh.
After what?
Strange flesh.
Okay, so the example, the topic are the angels. And the way that Sodom and Gomorrah was punished, they went after strange flesh, but we're still tying this back to who? The ones that left their first estate. So now it's not just, you messing with humans, you're messing with animals. Is that why people worship the lion body and the human head? What in the world are they doing? Strange flesh, not just humans, in general, people, animals, both. I said they injured the birds. They injured the animals. Go ahead.
Going after strange flesh are set forth for an example, suffering the vengeance of eternal fire.
Keep going.
Likewise, also these filthy dreamers defile the flesh, despise dominion, and speak evil of dignities. Then Michael, the archangel, when contending with the devil, he disputed about the body of Moses. Durst not bring against him a railing of accusation, but said, the Lord rebuked thee. But these speak evil of them of those things which they know not. But what they know naturally as brute beasts, in those things they corrupt themselves. Woe unto them, for they have gone in the way of Cain, and ran greedily after the error of Balaam for reward, and perished in the gainsaying of Korah. These are spots in your feasts of charity.
Yeah.
When they feast with you, feeding themselves without fear. Clouds, they are without water, carried about of winds, trees whose fruit withereth, without fruit, twice dead, plucked up by the roots.
What I wonder what twice dead means.
Second day.
Ding. See, because you got to die now. The question is, will you get to live forever? Will you die again? Because we see for sure, Yah has some maximum punishment set up for them. They ain't set up for you. You cut a fool you want to, he'll drop you in there just like that. But you ain't made from what they made of. That's like they prison. That's Akon. Locked up and won't let me out. Not gonna let me out. You're not gonna let him out. Keep on reading, son.
Raging waves of the sea.
So who are these raging waves? You talking about the angels? Go ahead.
Foaming out their own shame. Wandering stars.
That's how we know. Say it again.
Wandering stars.
Wandering stars that left their first estate. And when they left us, they did something so bad. We ain't got nothing from Jude but this. And the chunk of this is that, hey, they're going to get it. Go ahead.
To whom is reserved the blackness of darkness forever.
Didn't you read that in Enoch? Go ahead.
And Enoch also, the seventh from Adam, prophesied of these same. Behold, the Lord cometh with 10,000 of his saints to execute judgment upon all.
So Enoch, that's his reference. That's like when I got to do stuff for school and when I was my work cited. That's his work cited. Enoch. Enoch said. But as many as received him, to them he gave power. You know, when these folks was cutting the fool with when the angels, the watchers, and the daughters of men were procreating, their offspring had what? They were strong. They couldn't even contain them. Once again, whatever Yah has or he does, the devil's is opposite, or the bad guys is opposite. Darkness is opposite of light, right? Darkness doesn't comprehend. Counterfeit, doesn't understand light. But as many as received him, to them gave he power to become the sons of Elohim, even to them that believe on his name. Acts 8:14, Romans 8:14. For as many as are led by the Spirit of God, they are the sons of God. For as many as led by the Spirit of God, they are the sons of God. 1 Kings 11, 1-3. But King Solomon loved many strange women, together with the daughter of Pharaoh, women of the Moabites, the Ammonites, the Edomites, Zidonians, and Hittites, of the nations concerning which the master said to the children of Israel, ye shall not go into them, neither shall they come into you, for surely they will turn away your heart to serve their other God. Solomon clave unto these in love. He had 700 wives, princesses, and 300 concubines. And his wives turned away his heart. We've talked about this, that Shlomo and all these women, because he wanted to spread his seed. Because I'm sure he was very cognizant of the promise made to Abraham. Who doesn't want to be the one that said, yeah, I was the progeny, that I was the turning point for that, man. That was me, man. I was that man. And then when that me and that woman, we made that come to be. Because we all are humans. We all got Adamite in us. So your ego, pride, because you want to be a star. But the way y'all want you to be a star, the way the world wants you to be a star, completely different. Completely different. We can get that in our time because we see it all the time with stars. So he is trying to spread his seed and he's trying to conquer. But this was not Yah's intention. One, you're not the one. Now, your daddy was a checkpoint. Because I should kill you for what you're doing. But because I promised your daddy, I'm going to let you make it. Because of your daddy. I mean, your daddy was like this. So we have all these women, all these wives, all these concubines. It didn't work. Backfired, didn't it? This was not the way Yah wanted it to work. This goes the same with the book of Enoch. Those watchers that made that, I had that great idea. Let's spread our divine seed, man. Let's have great fruit, man. Let's build, let's bring the kingdom. Come on, man. The one guy was just like, I think we're gonna be in some serious trouble. If you think about this, if on earth as it is in heaven, we have a Torah, could you imagine the divine Torah? Could you imagine like divine laws in heaven? Think about divine protocols and laws in heaven. That one guy was just like, I think we're gonna be in some serious trouble. Remember, Shaul was very clear. You're going to have to judge the angels. So at least we know what angels got to be judged. I'm sure when that time comes, you'll get the rule book. Sector this, violation of this, A through Z. Wow. Page this, such and such this, or scroll this. Man. That's part of you going from one glory to another glory. Because Yahshua gets earth, but he also is above the earth and under the earth. We just read about stuff being under the earth, though, right? Yeah. That's why he's like, you gotta be like me. That's why right now, I just need y'all just to act better. Love somebody and really mean it. Try to go a couple of days without having no nasty attitude. Huh? I mean, just do the little stuff. I'll do the big stuff. You just do the little stuff. The little stuff. Jeremiah 17:7-10. Blessed is the man that trusts in the Lord and whose hope is the Lord, for he shall be a tree planted by the waters, and that spreadeth out of her roots by the river, and shall not see when heat comes. But her leaf shall be green, and shall not be careful, and shall not be careful in the year of drought, neither shall cease from yielding fruit. So we always got to be a fruit bearer. Without the Spirit, you cannot be a fruit bearer. And remember, for as many as are led by the Spirit of God, they are the sons of God. The heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? I, the master, search the heart. I tried the reins, even to give every man according to his ways and according to the fruit of his doings. So to rule and reign with Christ, to be a bride of Christ, who you gonna earn this now? Because when we look at from on earth, the marriage of Israel and Yah, and he's like, hey, I'm gonna get a bride. Like, when we think of the big spectrum, ruling the galaxy, remember, Abraham, I promise you, your seed will be like the sand on the ground and the stars of heaven. So you're going to have to understand divine counsel one-on-one. Somebody's got to take their place. I mean, they tried it in early Genesis. They tried. I was like, what? Lock them fools up and throw away the key. They didn't come out unless I let them out. Because some of the punishments on earth. He's going to let CZ, he's going to let some out. Anyway, that was in them last week. All right, bearing fruit and unfruitful land, part 2. Children of Elohim. Children of Elohim. I know, I'm sorry. I just have to go back. If you have not subscribed to the YouTube on the Restoring the Branches YouTube, I think it's Truth is Stranger Than Fiction 1 and Part 2. We really get into Enoch and the giants and the watchers and the offspring. But that's a lot. It's deep. And unfortunately, you know, I'm not wasting this time. Remind me another day. So bearing fruit in a fruitful line, and fruitful in the children of Elohim. So we kind of ended with last about, you know, becoming the children of Elohim. That Yah is wanting to put something in us to make us like him. Now these knuckleheads, they tried that. And they produced giants. You got some things in the text where it talks they had 6 toes. Right? Freakazoids. Well, that's not glorious. That's not beautiful. That's not how God does stuff. That's how idiots do stuff. That's how darkness do stuff. That's bad fruit. That's not him. So as we always say, the followers of Yah will be your Elohim. I will dwell with you. I will walk with you. I will be in you. I will be in you. Right? They wanted to be in them, but it was sexual and nasty. Huh? There's a 1st and 2nd Corinthians where Shaul said, hey, look, even the angels can transform themselves. 2nd Corinthians. Just gonna go to it. Turn to 2nd Corinthians. Where's that at? 11. 2 Corinthians 11. And 13. For such are false apostles, deceitful workers, transforming themselves into the apostles of Christ. And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed to an angel of light. Therefore, it is no great thing if his ministers also be transformed as the ministers of righteousness, whose end shall be according to their works. So the angels can transform themselves. And there's another part in maybe Hebrews, be careful lest you entertain an angel or a stranger. So they transformed themselves and procreated with humans. So they lied, they cheated, and raped. There's nothing about that. Nothing good about that. That's nothing like how Yah was with Miriam. So revealing the history is told by the prophets. Matthew 10 and 26, fear them not, therefore there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, and hid that shall not be known. Matthew 10 and 26. It was written. My bad. Go ahead and get that right quick. I forgot. Rick. Go ahead and get that, Rick. You still got your spot. Go ahead, bro. I forgot, but I didn't forget it.
2 Corinthians.
Oh, no, you got Romans 15, 3 and 4. Mm-hmm. I forgot, but I didn't forget. I did, but I didn't.
Romans 15, 3 and 4. For even Hamashiach please not himself.
That's right.
But as it is written.
As it is what?
As it is written.
Mm-hmm.
The reproaches of them that reproach thee fell on me. For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning.
That's right. That
we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope.
Right. Look, this is on the hope we got now. Go ahead, brother.
No one is able to come to me unless the Father who sent me draws him. I shall raise him up on the last day.
Have mercy.
Oh, it has been written in the prophets, and they shall all be taught by Yah. Everyone then who has heard the Father and learned comes from me.
Amen. Amen.
Acts 24, 14 through 15.
Mm-hmm.
But I confess unto thee But after the way which they call heresy,
That's right.
so worship I,
Yeah.
Elohim of my father,
Mm.
believing all things which are written in the law and the prophets.
Oh, what?
All things which are written in the law and the prophets.
Have mercy.
And have hope toward Elohim,
Mm.
which they themselves also allow,
Mm-hmm.
that there shall be a resurrection of the dead,
Mm.
both of the just and the unjust.
Mm. Have mercy. On the screen is my people which are called by my name shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways. Then will I hear from Shemaim, I will forgive their sin and will heal their land. 2 Chronicles 7:14. My name, my name, my name, called by my name. For if we have anybody watching that's not familiar with this, Psalm 68:4, sing unto God, praise, sing praise to his name, extol him that rise upon the heavens by his name, Yah, and rejoice before him. Yah, the name of God, can be found among his people. The name Yah can be found amongst the Hebrew people of the Bible. King, priest, and common people practice in the naming of your seed after something of importance, place, situation, or your God, in their case, Yah, or case, Yah. Here's an example. Israelite names and West African names. Isaiah, Yeshua, Yah is saved. Jeremiah, Yirmiyahu, or Yirmiyah, Yah has appointed. Nehemiah, Nehemiah, Yah comforts. Elijah, Eliah, my God is Yah, or Yah is my God. Josiah, or Yoshia, whom Yah heals. Obadiah, Obadiah, servant of Yah. Zechariah, Zechariah, Yah remembers. Benaniah, Beniah, Yah is built up. Now this is from from your text, from your Bible. Okay. On the other side, we just got some West African names. These names were recorded in the slave database. So I got the men, boys, women's, girls, and ages. Inya, Hanya, Kuya, Gaya. So before the names got changed. Baya, Boya, Yakoba, Indepya, Ikeya, Benia, Taya, Koya, Taya, Hanya, Inya, Kardaya, Ayawo, Yava. Just two. Books say don't have no regard for age. So point that this is something very physical. It's a great example of physical seed. Remember, Israel shall be as numerous as the sand on the seashore. That we get 1 Kings 4:20. We get Isaiah 10:22. We get Hosea 1:10. Those verses, if you write them down, it's 1 Kings 4:20, Isaiah 10:22, and then Hosea 1:10.
Isaiah 42.
Hmm?
Isaiah 42.
4:20.
First Kings 4:20.
Okay, you have I gave you 1 Kings, right? Okay, you probably got what you got? Hosea.
I got Hosea. Isaiah 10.
Okay, you got Hosea 1:10. No, just not.
Isaiah what?
10:22. Okay, but 1 Kings 4:20.
1 Kings 4:20. Judah and Israel were many,
Mm-hmm.
as the sand which is by the sea, and the multitude, eating and drinking and making merry.
Bunch of them. Can you count the sand on the seashore? You ever been to the beach? You ever get a chance to go to the beach? Take them flip-flops off? I know I do. Big old corns, messed up toes. They feel good in that sand, though. Them little dust particles. It take a long time to get that sand off of you, you know. And he says, hey, you're like sand. You're like sand grain. Sand grain on the seashore. Physical, earthly. Isaiah 10:22.
For though my people Israel be as the sand of the sea,
Mm.
yet a remnant of them shall return. The consumption decree shall overflow with righteousness.
Bunch of them. Go ahead. Hosea.
Hosea 1:10. Yet the number, yet, yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, Ye are not my people, there it shall be said unto them, Ye are the sons of the living Elohim.
Sons of the who?
Living Elohim.
We're not going to get away from that now. We've been saying that for a long time. Somebody's not going to get away from. So Yaakov, or Jacob, right? Jacob. It's a very special child. His birth and how he came to be. It's a lot of drama around it, wasn't it? It's pretty exciting when you read it. Who needs reality TV? Open up the scriptures. So Romans 9 and 13. Romans 9 and 13. It says, that is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. I'm sure you heard it all the time if you listen to the people on YouTube. They throw it out there left and right. We're gonna look at that. And they're quoting Malachi 1 and 2. You're going to put that in your notes. So when he says Romans 9 and 13, he is quoting, once again, quoting Torah or quoting the Tanakh, the prophets, 1 and 2 in Malachi. So we have Jacob. Let's go ahead and turn to Genesis 32. Bless you. Genesis 32. Genesis 32 and 24. And it reads, and Jacob was left alone, and he there wrestled with him until the breaking of the day. And when he saw that he prevailed not against him, he touched the hollow of his thigh. And the hollow of Jacob's thigh was out of joint. And he wrestled with him. And he said, let me go, for the day breaketh. And he said, I will not let thee go, except thou bless me. He said unto him, what is thy name? And he said, Jacob. He said, thy name shall be no more called Jacob, but Israel. For as a prince hast thou power with God and with men, and hast prevailed. Jacob asked him and said, tell me, I pray thee, thy name. And he said, wherefore it is that thou dost ask after my name. And he blessed him there. And Jacob called the name of the place Peniel, for I have seen God face to face, and my life is preserved. So we have Jacob in a unique situation. He has went ahead and sent messengers to his brother Esau. I think the last time he saw his brother, things didn't kind of work out pretty well, right? It was kind of, reality TV in the desert. It really wasn't good. It was kind of good. Just kind of zoomed out of there with the blessing, with the birthright, gone. Because Esau was like, I'm gonna kill him. So now he sent some guys ahead, and word come back. Well, hey, Esau's coming. Got a bunch of guys with him too. They don't look happy. Got a bunch of guys with him. Got them goons with him. Y'all know, you know what that means. You go somewhere and you see a bunch of dudes outside in the parking lot. There's a whole bunch of them. You're looking crazy. Hit it your way. The heart kind of singing, So this is what is approaching Yaakov. And something that sticks out is this 28th verse. And he said, thy name shall be called no more Jacob, but Israel, for as a prince hast thou power with God and with men, and hast prevailed. And that's the King James version. All right. We'll look at another version. Is that a question about something? Septuagint. Same chapter, same verse. He said to him, thy name shall no longer be called Jacob, but Israel shall be thy name, for thou hast prevailed with God, and shall be mighty with men. Okay, so if we look at the King James, for as a prince thou hast power with God and with men, and hast prevailed. And Septuagint, Thou hast prevailed with God and shall be mighty with men. Right? All right, let me look at the Masoretic text in our Tanakh, those who have Tanakh. And he said, thy name shall be called no more Jacob, but Israel, for thou hast strived with God and with men and hast prevailed. So I wanted to look at this. This word here in green is strive, and the Hebrew there in the green is sahrita. Okay, sahrita, and we're going to look at this because one says strive, prevail, prince. So we just kind of want to get an idea because Jacob's name was changed. So it does matter. How many people have said or heard say, hey, I'm the house of Jacob, seed of Jacob, house of Israel, seed of Israel. I'm Israel. What does that mean? He changed his name for a reason. Am I mimicking what he did to get his name changed? Am I mimicking what he did to get his name changed? Am I mimicking what he did to get his name changed? Is there a bus stop? I'm at the bus stop. I just jump on the party bus. They got that all in, what was that, Kevin? What was that, Bill Street? They had that party, had that party bus. Season up, get on that party bus. Just jump on the party bus. I hate to say it, 2020, a lot of Israelites, they love the party bus, man. It's a big old party bus. So Sahra, contend, have power, contend with, persist, exert oneself, persevere. To persevere, contend with. Primitive root, primitively speaking, to prevail, have power as a prince. Guess how many times this word is used in your scripture? Just guess. Help me out. Almost, close, real close. What's after that? Two. So this word in the Tanakh is only used twice. It's used to describe Jacob or Yaakov in Genesis 32 and Hosea 12. That's it. Word is not used again. There's something kind of chew on. So we have to ask a question with Jacob, his striving with God. He wrestled with God, I think the book said. And it said he wrestled with God. And then the angel replied to him, and he said, in verse 28, he said, thy name shall be no more called Jacob, but Israel, for as a prince that has power with God and with men and has prevailed. So in the time he said, that has strive, you have persevered, contended with God and with men. Perseverance. Well, how was Jacob born again? He was a twin, wasn't he? Mm-hmm. You don't believe this. His mama was confused. What's wrong with my belly? And they fighting in the womb. So when Yaakov was in the womb, he was striving and fighting with who? Men. You don't believe this. Esau was a cunning hunter and a man of the field. And we've been looking at the world is a field.
Oh, you came back good.
Perseverance. He ain't went from darkness to light yet. He ain't came out the womb yet. And he's fighting. And the book tells us that he grabbed a hold of Esau's heel. He was fighting coming out. Then, to get daddy's attention, because clearly dad loved Esau's cooking. He love how Esau did. He was a man, he was a mighty man. Yeah, I love you go out there and you hunt that game, you bring back, you throw it on that grill, it'd be right. So he has persevered. He has competed. He didn't tap out. A lot of times religion has made us think that Jacob was the hustler, the trickster, the get over guy, the goofball. He was a plain man. He wasn't about the field or the world. In this world, you got to bear fruit. What kind of fruit will you be? Will you be a wheat or will you be a tare? So Yaakov has his skirmishes with his brother. He gets the birthright. Yah tells the mama, hey, look here. It's going to be something special. The elder going to serve the younger. Well, it's time to give the blessing. What do humans do? We get in the way. Here, put this stuff on. Be hairy. Just deepen your voice. Let me throw some goat butt on you, make it smell like your brother. I don't think that was probably Yah's, not his intention. That wasn't what Yah wanted to do. We see this repeated over and over, especially early in the Torah. Then he goes away. He goes away. Because he's like, I'm going to kill him. I'm going to kill him now. As I see you, I'm going to kill you. He goes away. Hooks up with family. I'm good, straight. Okay. And just, young man, beautiful, beautiful. Sister, I want to marry him. You won't believe what happened. Well, he did the right what? Thou hast strived with God and with men and has prevailed. So he don't get the woman that he's in love with. So he got to go back. And he got to work some more to get the woman that he wants. He didn't tap out. He got the woman that he wants. So now he's got 2 wives. Now he's got all this stuff going on. And he didn't quit. He had to go back where he came from. We're in Genesis 32. He's wrestling with this angel. This man desperate. I've done everything. I believe what my mama said. I did everything she told me to do. I love my daddy. I do love my brother. He be tripping. But how did I get this? I don't know. And everything I keep hearing about is I'm supposed to be this. I'm supposed to be that. It sure don't seem like it. And the angel said, well, how did the angel know? Because we're watching you. It's great changing the name to Israel. His name was changed because he fought, persevered. He didn't tap out. Could have quit. Didn't quit. In the womb, he was fighting. Are you a fighter? We didn't fight our life now. We've been handicapped now. You've been spoiled from religion, and you've been spoiled just being over in America. We didn't fight about life. Thou hast prevailed with God and shall be mighty with men. He earned that name. He wrestled all night. He wrestled all night. He said, I refuse to give in. I need you to bless me. Because I know you're sending me back. But Esau over there. And I ain't never been no fighter. No, you're going to go before me. I need you. He says, you have prevailed with God. Does God see you as a prevailer? Does God see you as an overcomer? Does men, neighbors, people in this world see you as an overcomer? That's why his name was changed. It wasn't cool. It wasn't hip. He earned his stripes. Come too far to quit.
That's right.
Not tapping out. Desperate times call for desperate measures. The believers of the new covenant, will we be renamed for wrestling with Yah and wrestling with men and persevering until victory? Book said he was a winner. He said it has prevailed. Who he beat up? How many swords he got? He ain't got. Who he slapped? Who he punched? Was he doing some kung fu? What did he do? But there was power with him. Power, persevering into the victory, power or blessing comes after we persevere. That's why his name was changed. He got to the last, he hung on to the last second. Esau down the street with his fellas. Perseverance is strength. Perseverance is strength, brothers and sisters. We're entering a time where we're going to have to persevere. It's going to have to be strong. I don't know what to tell you. And I can't define true strength, but to hang on. Stuff your grandmamas. For those of us that are blessed to have your grandmamas. I mean the real grandmamas and the great grandmamas about holding on and hanging on and not folding the tent. Yaakov was strong and he knocked nobody out. Perseverance is strength. You never give up. It's the era now when people quit too easy. Gimme got shot for Jimmy. Or something, whatever it's how that saying go. Y'all know what I'm saying. Is that you? Or you need somebody to push it for you? It's like you carrying your cross. You know, you really can't do what Yahshua HaMashiach if you carrying your cross. Everybody got their own cross to bear. Hey, let me borrow a pulley. Let me borrow some horses. You got it, and drag this thing for me. Gotta persevere. Our mind gotta be right. Our mind gotta be better. My favorites right here. It's just, you gotta get a mind made on him, set on him. We gotta get to where we just are going to persevere. And I'm training myself in the spirit to where I ain't gonna tap out. Jacob didn't tap out. He tapped in. He didn't tap out. He tapped in. God did the rest. We're going to earn our new name. We're going to earn it. He had to earn it. Everybody want to be like Jacob.
What are you? Mobile, agile,
How are you?
hostile. What is pain? Fresh bread.
I just want to know if you don't quit.
Close. Will you ever quit? No. We want some more. We want some more. We want some more. Earn it.
Let me ask you something, Mr. Campbell.
Listen what he
What
said.
kind of power you got?
Oh, man, you know I got some soul power.
What kind of power you
I
got?
got a question with that. I got soul power.
Yes, you
Got a problem with
Let
that.
me ask you something, Mr. Burkett.
Yes, strong. I'm too strong.
What?
I'm too strong. Too strong. I want a victory.
Oh, I want victory.
I want a victory.
I want victory.
You want victory?
They got it. How bad you want to win? Jacob wanted to win so bad, he followed with an angel all night. Blew his hip out of play. How bad do you want the victory? He said, what kind of power you got? He said, I got soul power. I know we think it's soul train and regular plans and stuff. But there's ruach in you. There should be a power from within. But you know, sometimes we just appoint ourselves. So I ain't talking about John Jr. I'm just saying people appoint themselves to things that ain't even where they're supposed to be at. They just want to jump on the party bus. So we're going to look at Israel, because his name was changed to Israel. In fact, Israel, we see it in yellow, Israel. All right. Israel. Oh, wow, look at that. Sarah. It's part of Israel. Same Sarah that was used to describe the what was it? The strive, prevail, have power, contend, to persevere. See, it's hard to persevere if I'm lazy now. I say it again. It's hard to persevere if I'm lazy. And that doesn't, it's like oxymoron. What's it called? Oxymoron. That's an oxymoron. Is that about me? It's got to be part of me to persevere. So he changed his name from Jacob to Israel, and part of his name is perseverance, contention, power, and the other half is just El, which is a abbreviation for God. So now we get this God's power, right? Jacob's name was changed to Israel. He preserved with El. He persevered with El. He contends for El. Then Jacob is what his name was changed to. Is this you? You persevere with El? You persevere with God? You contend for God. Jacob's union to Yah was life-changing. He has the power of or from El, God within. I'm just using El because that's part of Israel. That was what was in the name that he was changed. His name was changed to. That puts a whole nother spin on it every time I talk about Jacob or Israel. This man persevered. Am I a picture of perseverance? Do I contend? And am I a possessor of power from the same El of Jacob? Am I a picture of perseverance? Do I contend? Am I a possessor of power from the same El of Jacob, the same God of Jacob? If not, why do I call myself an Israelite, Israel, Jacob, or believer? Christians too now. Part of persevering, you think about that. Beam me up out of here, Scotty. We look at this and we can see that Jacob is a shadow of Messiah. Jacob was loved Leah. And Leah did what? She produced how many kids for him? Rachel, sorry. Love Rachel. How many kids did Rachel produce? 2. So that means she produced, that's her fruit. And the one that he was not pursuing after, the one that he was not really on like that, she had way a whole bunch more kids than she. Get out Isaiah 65, 1 through 2. Isaiah 65, you're about to turn to, about to read.
I am salt of them that ask not for me.
He said what?
I am salt of them that ask not for me.
Mm.
I am found of them that sought me not. I said, behold me, into a nation that was not called by my name.
Mm. So Jacob wasn't calling Rachel name like that, was he? I mean Leah, thank you. He wasn't calling I got him written. He wasn't calling Leah like that. But yet she produced more fruit for him. I'll say it again. He wasn't really calling after Leah like that. Jacob wasn't. He was calling after Rachel. She gave him 2 sons. He loved her so much. I'll go back for you. I'll say it again. He loved her so much he went back for her. In the book we told her Christ coming back. Come back for his bride, ain't it? Jacob loved her so much he did his time and then went back for her to get her. She only produced 2 kids. And the one who he was not pursuing, the one who he was not calling her name, she gave him more kids. She produced more fruit for him. Do we not see the children of Israel and the nations right there in Jacob? But once again, Yahshua told you, he said in the book, it's written of me now. Everything got something to do with him. Just something to on. Put that note, that was Isaiah 65, 1-2. Really need to read that whole chapter. To be honest with you, the whole chapter of Isaiah 65. I'm not going to do it today. It's just something to think about. We just got things to consider when we talk about how serious of it is to be named by him or called by him. It's not just, some little thing. It's things to consider. We really got to think about it. Okay? In Isaiah 62, 1-2, for Zion's sake will I not hold my peace, and for Jerusalem's sake I will not rest until the righteousness thereof go forth as brightness, and the salvation thereof as the lamp that burneth, and the Gentiles shall see thy righteousness, and all kings thy glory, and thou shalt be called by a new name, a new name, a new name. Is he going to rename you? You got to earn it. You got to earn it. And thou shalt be called by a new name which the mouth of the Lord shall name. Revelation 2:17, Revelation 3:12, and 2:17 it says, he that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith to the churches. To him that overcometh will I give to eat of the hidden manna. I'll give him a white stone, and the stone a new name. And in the stone a new name written, which no man knoweth, saving he that receives it. We have to earn our new name. It's like John Cole. Revelation 3:12, him that overcometh will I make a pillar in the temple of my God. He shall go no more out, and I will write upon him the name of my God, the name of the city of my God, which is New Jerusalem, which cometh down out of heaven from my God, and I will write upon him my new name. So we have to have proper balance between this earthly seed, and clearly the earthly seed, the seed of the sand on the earth, and the seed of the stars as far as heaven. It's got to be a balance between them. So which holds more weight? The children of Israel or the children of God? Which holds more weight to you? Which one you want to be identified with more? The COI, children of Israel, or the COG, the children of God? Turn to Philippians chapter 3. To prevail, to get the victory. It's amazing how that's clipped from that movie. You got football guys and they get it there. Can you imagine the armies of heaven? know, when we look at and we kind of read some stuff in Enoch, you kind of get an idea. Another reason why Messiah come back so angry. Why he come back ready to fight? Because they're still here. Sorry, they're still here. I know it's about, you know, humanity and the armies of the world. Yeah, but they're still here. He's gonna do something about it. Tell y'all Philippians 3. Philippians 3rd chapter. We'll start in verse 1. Finally, my brethren, rejoice to the Lord. To write the same things to you, to me indeed is not grievous, but for you it is safe. Beware of dogs, beware of evil workers, beware of concision. For we are the circumcision which worship God in the spirit and rejoice in Yahshua and have no confidence in the flesh. Though I might also have confidence in the flesh, if any other man thinketh that he hath whereof he might trust in the flesh, I am more. So he's saying in my flesh, in my humanity, in me, and being a human being, I have a lot of confidence. He's going to tell you why. He's going to read off his resume. He's going to say, verse 5, circumcised the 8th day of the stock of Israel, of the tribe of Benjamin, a Hebrew of Hebrews, as touching Torah, a Pharisee, concerning zeal, persecuting the church. So I was killing folks. Because I thought they was going against Torah. I killed. So he says, so if we're going to start talking about physical seed, said, you can't boast like me now. Look, I was circumcised the 8th day. I'm a Benjaminite. I'm a teacher of teachers. I kill for Torah. Concerning the zeal, persecuting the church, touching the righteousness which is in the law, blameless. But what things were gained to me, those I count loss for Christ. But what things were gained to me, he just named them off, those I count loss for Christ. Yea, doubtless, and I count all things but loss for the excellency of the knowledge of Christ, my master, for whom I have suffered the loss of all things, and do count them but dung, that I may win Christ, and be found in him, not having my own righteousness, which is of the law, but that which is through the faith of Christ, the righteousness which is of God by faith, that I may know him in the power of his resurrection. And that what Aaron read in John 6:44-45. That what Yirmiyahu read in Acts 24:14-15, holding on to the resurrection of the just and the unjust, and the fellowship of his sufferings, being made comfortable unto his death. If by any means I might attain to the resurrection of the dead, not as though I had already attained, either were already perfect, but I follow after, if that I may apprehend that for which also I am apprehended of Christ. Brethren, I count not myself to have apprehended, but this one thing I do, forgetting those things which are behind, and reaching forth to those things which are before, I press toward the mark of the prize of the high calling of Elohim in Christ Yahshua. Is that you? Is that you? That's what Yaakov did. What everything was written aforetime, which is written for our learning. To persevere with God, persevere dealing with men in this field. Let us therefore, as many as be perfect, be thus minded. And if anything ye be otherwise minded, God shall reveal even this unto you. Nevertheless, whereto we have already attained, let us walk by the same rule. Let us mind the same thing. Brethren, be followers together of me, and mark them which walk so as ye have for us an example. For many walk, of whom I have told you, and now tell you even weeping, they are the enemies of the cross of Christ, whose end is destruction, whose God is their belly, and whose glory is their shame, who mind earthly things. For our conversation is in heaven, from whence we look forward to the Savior of our Master Yahshua HaMashiach, who shall change our vile body, that it may be fashioned like unto his glorious body. So Peter said that they sort of got to rise in your hearts. For according to the working whereby he is even able to subdue all things unto himself. Children of Israel, too far. My bad. Give me 1 John 3. 4 through 11. Everybody else turn to Galatians 3. First John been brought up a lot, ain't it now? You get it on Wednesdays and you get it on Shabbat. Every time you hear that now, just all me, the most I say is pay attention.
First John 3.
Start in 4 and go through 11.
Whosoever committeth sin transgresseth also the law.
Mm-hmm.
For sin is the transgression of the law.
Mm-hmm.
And ye know that he was manifested to take away our sin. And
He was
him,
what?
He was manifested to take away our sin.
Mm-hmm.
And in him is no sin. Whosoever abideth in him sinneth not. Whoever sinneth hath not seen him, neither known him.
Mm.
Little children, let no man deceive you.
Little who?
Children,
Mm.
let no man deceive you. He that doeth righteousness is righteous, even as he is righteous. He that committeth sin is of the devil. For the devil sinneth from the beginning.
He did what?
He sinneth from the beginning.
Mm.
For this purpose, the Son of Elohim was manifested that he might destroy the works of the devil.
Say that again.
He that committeth sin is of the devil.
Mm.
For the devil sinneth from the beginning.
Uh-huh.
For this purpose, the Son of Elohim was manifested that he might destroy the works of the devil.
So Messiah was manifest to destroy the works. I mean, that's kind of physical language. To destroy the works of the devil. Go ahead.
Whosoever is born of Elohim does not commit sin.
Mm.
For his seed remaineth in him.
His what?
His seed remaineth in
I
him.
want if that's physical or spiritual. Go ahead.
And he cannot sin because he is born of Elohim.
He's what?
Born of Elohim.
One more time.
Born of Elohim.
So that's why the great teacher said you got to be born again. Everybody else reading Galatians 3 and 21. 3 and 21 is the law then against the promises of God? God forbid. We went over this since I don't know how many weeks now. God forbid, for if there had been a law given which could have given life, very righteousness should have been by the law. But the scripture have come all under sin, that the promise by faith of Yeshua HaMashiach might be given to them that believe. But before faith came, we were kept under the law, shut up unto the faith which should afterwards be revealed. Wherefore the law, the Torah, was our schoolmaster to bring us unto Christ, that we might be justified by faith. But after that faith is come, we are no longer under a schoolmaster, for ye are all the children of God. For ye are all the children of God. For ye are all the children of God by faith in Mashiach Yeshua. For as many as has been baptized into Christ have put on Christ. There is neither Jew nor Greek, there is neither bond nor free, there is neither male nor female, for ye are all one in Mashiach. If ye be Christ, and ye are Abraham's seed, and heirs according to the promise. I will make your seed as the sand and as the stars. So we talked about this a couple weeks ago in verse 23, being under the law. It just was a Greek euphemism he used. It just meant under something, meaning it's something that you value so high, you put it up here. Okay? So that the Torah cannot be your head, Christ must be your head. Okay? Christ must be your head. Give me Romans 9, 21 through 27. Can you give me Romans 7 and 6? Got one reader in Romans 9, 21 through 27. Other brothers in Romans 7 and 6.
Romans 9, verse 21. It says, has not the potter power over the clay of the same lump to make one vessel unto honor and another unto dishonor?
Mm-hmm.
What if God, willing to shew his wrath and to make his power known, endured with much long suffering the vessels of wrath fitted to destruction, and that he might make known the riches of his glory on the vessels of mercy, which he had before prepared unto glory? Even us whom he hath called, not the Jews only, but also of the Gentiles. As he said also in Hosea, I will call them my people, which were not my people, and her beloved, which was not beloved. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, there shall they be called the children of the living Elohim.
The what?
The children of the living Elohim.
The what?
The children of the living Elohim.
So what holds more weight? Being the child of Israel or being the child of the living Elohim? Romans 7. Oh, I'm sorry. He got one more. My bad.
Isaiah also cried concerning Israel,
Mm-hmm.
though the number of the children of Israel be as the sand.
As the what?
Though the number of the children of Israel be as the sand of the sea,
Mm.
a remnant shall be saved.
Mm. Hope we seeing this. Go ahead.
But now we have been released from the Torah,
Mm-hmm.
having died to what we were held by,
Mm-hmm.
so that we should serve in the newness of the Spirit and not in the oldness of letter.
We should do what?
Serve in the newness of Spirit and not the oldness of letter.
Newness in spirit
Yes,
and not oldness of the letter.
Spirit is capitalized.
The spirit is capitalized.
Just saying.
Serving the newness of the spirit, not in the oldness of the letter. So once again, children of Israel, flesh, man seed, aka sperm, something that's physical. Right? Children of Israel, flesh, man seed, or sperm, physical. Children of Elohim, spirit, Yah's will, the gift of the promise that Yahshua, in a resurrected body, a glorified body, told his Talmudim, don't you leave this Jerusalem till the gift of my Father come. Spiritual. You know what they asked him? You're going to now sign the kingdom of Israel? You won't believe this. If I've told you earthly things and you believe not, how should you believe if I tell you of heavenly things? So we have to realize that Yah is trying to move us up in our classes. It's really, we shouldn't be failing and retaking the same classes in Christ. We shouldn't be failing and retaking. And having to go to summer school and Maymester and going to the office hours for your professor, Yahshua, and saying, hey, look, the dean comes. Once again, because Jacob got his name changed for never quitting and persevering. We won't take shortcuts. We want to take shortcuts, but now we have attained a more excellent ministry by how much also he is the mediator of a better covenant. The stakes are higher. You're going to be turned to a God. I don't know how else to put it. It's the only way he's going to be able to be with you. So the writer is telling you he is the mediator of a better covenant, which was established upon better promises. This is your Jeremiah 31. I know we keep it real simple. I'm going back in the land, or being in the land, I'm going to have my spot, I'm going to have slave, all this other stuff. You're going to be like him. You're going to be in a glorified body like he was in Matthew 17. You're going to be what those knuckleheads on Mount Hermon and the Book of Enoch tried to do. Except they came out with giants and reptiles and werewolves, oh my. Second Corinthians. Second Corinthians 3. I'm just going to do some of this, but please go back and do this chapter, read this chapter. But if we look at in Romans 7:6, as it was read, we're in 2 Corinthians now, but in Romans 7:6, that we should serve in the newness of spirit and not in the oldness of letter. So then the oldness of the letter, children of Israel, flesh, man seed, sperm, physical. In the newness of the spirit, the children of Elohim, spirit, Yah's will, something spiritual. That's why Charles said this has nothing to do with getting rid of the law. So you want to graduate or not? Ready for your master's in Him. Ready for your master's or your doctorate or wherever you are. So 2 Corinthians 3 and 6, who also has made us able ministers of the New Testament or the renewed covenant, not of the letter, but of the spirit. For the letter killeth, but the spirit gives life. But if the ministration of death written and engraven in stones was glorious, right? That was glorious. But the children of Israel could not steadfast behold the face of Moses. For the glory of his countenance, which glory was to be done away, how shall not the ministration of the spirit be rather glorious? For if the ministration of condemnation be glory, much more does the ministration of righteousness exceed glory. For even that which was made glorious had no glory in this respect, by reason of the glory that excelleth. So there's going to be a greater glory than when Moses came down. That's going to be you. You got to persevere. Galatians 3, just put that in your notes. Starting. You should be familiar with Galatians 3 and the spirit chapter, right? It's used a lot against you for not doing it. No, wrong chapter. Galatians 3, 14 through 25. I'm not going to read that again. Just put that in your notes. We talked about this last couple of weeks. The divine wisdom of Avinu is used herding, farming, harvesting, and worship. Communicate the code of redemption, good, salvation. It's been a theme the last couple of weeks. If we remember this, we had the epistle of the Galatians 4:21 through 31. You had one side Torah, Ishmael, flesh, Arabia, bondwoman. Other side Yahshua, Isaac, spirit, Jerusalem, free woman. This was the allegory in Galatians 4:21 through 31. These were compared. Once again, being under the law is in the Torah is superior, and Shaul is to need to be under Christ. You be under him. That who's you need to be under. So epistle to the Galatians, Torah, Ishmael, flesh, Arabia, bondwoman, the allegory. In Galatians 5 and 19 through 21, you know what you got? Adultery, fornication, uncleanness, lasciviousness, idolatry, witchcraft, hatred, variance, emulations, wrath, strife, seditions, heresies, envyings, murderers, drunkenness, revilings, not inherit the kingdom of Elohim. How many people, think about this, that you know that's under Torah, and this is the fruit you've seen, or you know? I'll say it again. How many people that's under Torah? Torah observant culture only, baby. But this is the fruit. Because you're going to produce fruit. Remember in Jeremiah 17, right? Your deeds, man, you did something. Under Torah, but that's your fruit. You know what that picture is over there? Oh, it's bad fig skin. Will not inherit the kingdom of Elohim. We know that the kingdom of Elohim is where? So what is it? By the abundance of the heart, so that's what come out of you. Tor. You Ishmaelite. You're all about your flesh. Shaul had a great resume in Philippians 3, didn't he? He said, man, look, he said, you feel good about your flesh? Can you top this? Benjamin might, circumcised the 8th day, Hebrew and Hebrews, Pharisee touching the law. I killed for this time. He said, I get rid of all of it for Christ. Same epistle. We have the other aspect. Yahshua, Isaac, spirit, Jerusalem, free woman, allegory in 22 through 30. But in Galatians, the 5th chapter, the fruit of the Spirit, love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, temperance. Is that what we produce? Remember, the whittling fan in his hand. He's what we're looking for is fruit. Because you said you were part of the vine. And I'm a fruit bearer. I'm going to the kingdom of God. You know what he's going to come by looking for? It's fruit. And you know what happens when you don't find the fruit? You just a stick. How much fruit do you bear in the earth? Here's a real good question. How much did he design you to produce? Because he's the potter. We're the clay. How much did he design you, spinning wheel, to produce fruit? How much is he expecting from you? You know, it'd be a shame if he expected from me 10 18-wheeler loads worth of fruit. Listen to that. When it's time to see the fruit of my doings, I show up with this. Hey there, Lord. I ain't taking that. You have my fruit? Here you go. But I designed you to bring in like 10 18-wheelers worth of fruit. This is all you brought? So I ask you to think. I'll ask you again, how much fruit do you bear in the earth? How much did he design you to produce? How many years of his harvest cycle, he couldn't get a bushel from you? How many years of the harvest cycle, he couldn't get a bushel from you? Am I a part of the vine? He's expecting fruit. Luke 6:43-44, for a good tree bringeth not forth corrupt fruit. For a good tree bringeth not forth corrupt fruit, neither doth a corrupt tree bring forth good fruit. For every tree is known by his own fruit. From thorns men do not gather figs, nor of a bramble bush gather they grapes. So what tree are we? We're the true tree of the knowledge of good and evil. We produce that kind of fruit. We're the tree of life. We produce different kind of fruit. Is my relationship with Messiah, my relationship with Christ, is it superficial? Or is it deeper? Do we endure like Jacob? Do we do just enough to get by? Bare minimum. We do just enough. We go all out. Or am I just kind of, a little bit here, a little bit there? Now, I got some homework I do. I'm all in. There's some stuff. Tired. And that's when your master is going to want the best from you. We're tired. You don't like it to be a hospital. Teach things to your children whether you're tired, whether you're rested.
Rested, yes.
I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm tired. When you can't persevere. I mean, the fight of our life. You know, Isaiah, you got to give me Isaiah 44 and 3.
I will pour water upon him that is thirsty.
That is what?
Thirsty.
Hallelujah.
And blood upon the dry ground.
Mm.
I will pour my ruach upon your seed and my blessing upon your offspring.
So that dry land can sometimes be our heart.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard for the seed to really get in there. If I think what the parable say, the stony ground or the thorns and the thistles choke the word out of it. I was doing some work in the garden the other day. My mother-in-law made a statement. She said, yeah, some of these is really hard for them because the weeds choke them out. Dang, she's spitting bars and don't even know. Spitting bars and don't even know. But these are things as we're moving forward in the Ruach, the things that it's just part of God's plan. Really can't. We don't just go through the word. I don't know. I mean, look at his plan and what he had, the depth of it. It's very deep, very detailed. I know it's a lot of scripture. I know it's these last couple of weeks been kind of, but we really want to get prepared for Shavuot. We want to be prepared spiritually. We want him to pour out his water on our hearts. It's the first step because he wants us to be a partaker of divine nature. And people are going to get there because they escape the world or the lust of it. And apparently, early Genesis has been full of lust. And the angels and the watchers and the bad guys that tried to have their own progeny, Yah said, I'm going to take your idea and do better.
Mm.
And then you're going to lose your seat. I'm going to give it to them. So all these angels and all these principalities that are ruling right now, they're going to lose their spot. And then you're going to take it while the earth is repopulated by human beings. So no, you're not going to be eating a bunch of fruit and having a bunch of concubines. You're going to be what they are. I don't know what else to say, but it's in the book. So with that being said, you're going to shut me off.
Okay. Shalom.
Shalom. Thank y'all. Thank you. So, thank you in Hebrew.